Welcome to another edition of Rants, where I come on and go off about, well, whatever's honking me off today. So, there are people in this world who are blunt, and then there's Curt Schilling, former Philadelphia Philly pitcher who helped them win the 1993 pennant, former Arizona Diamondback pitcher who helped them win their first, and so far only, world championship in 2001, former Boston Red Sox pitcher who helped them win not one but two World Series in 2004 and 2007, and a former player for Yavapai College right here in Prescott, Arizona. One of my favorite players, a guy who I think should be in the Hall of Fame, but he isn't because he doesn't think the way that the mainstream sports media and woke MLB think. And the dude has the credentials to be in Cooperstown. Here we go. 216 career wins, over 3,000 strikeouts, six-time All-Star, key member of 3 World Championship teams, a 3-time Cy Young runner-up. Again, he's got the credentials, but because of his political beliefs, well, they won't let him in the Hall of Fame, which I think is a load of garbage. Personally, for me, I wouldn't care if Curt Schilling believed the earth was flat, that the Bush family and the royal family of England were actually lizard aliens in disguise, and that Taylor Swift was a better singer than Nightwish's Floor Jansen. He could think all of that stuff, and I would still say, yeah, put him in the Hall of Fame, even though I think he was bloody wrong on every single one of those points. But anyway, Curt Schilling has never been one to sugarcoat his opinions. And man, oh man, did he just unleash a verbal assault on the whole Brittney Griner situation. I'm talking about words flying across the Twitterverse like they were rockets from a whole battery of those Stalin organs from World War II. So Brittney Griner, she's been in a Russian jail for, I think, 4 or 5 months now, on charges of bringing vape cartridges into the country that contained cannabis. And while many in the U.S. are asking for our government to help bring Brittney Griner home, Curt Schilling is not one of those people. In fact, Curt Schilling, he tweeted out, quote, "I know this may seem like a stretch, but something like 300 million people understand. Obey the bleeping law. Why is that such a challenge? And why on earth should she not pay the penalty for breaking another country's laws?" End quote. Oh, but Schill, he was not done there. He went on to say that as far as he knew, Griner never denied breaking the law in Russia, and because he wasn't through being blunt, he tweeted this out, quote, "You do understand she was arrested going into Russia, right? And they warn athletes every single year, you don't bleep around," end quote. Well, no surprise, since it's Twitter, a bunch of people pushed back on Schilling. One of them saying that Brittney Griner only had a small amount of cannabis on her. But Schilling, well, he reloaded the Stalin organs with more verbal rockets, and he replied, quote, "Really? Are you quoting American law here? You aren't, are you? Because she was arrested in Russia after breaking Russian law. Corrupt country, but they," meaning American athletes, "are always lectured about when in Rome, do as the Romans do," end quote. And man, oh man, mad lad Curt Schilling just not taking any prisoners here. And I have to say, I think Curt Schilling is right about this. Now, personally, I think what the Russian courts apparently are suggesting as a punishment for Brittney Griner, I think that 10 years in prison over this is way too harsh. My kind of punishment would be something like a fine, community service, maybe getting into an intervention program. But like Schilling said, and like it or not, this is an entirely different country we're dealing with. And Russia, this is a place where they have thrown people into jail just for saying they support LGBTQ rights. This is not a country you want to mess around in. So how do you think a place like Russia is going to respond to drug possession, even if it is a small amount of drugs that Brittney Griner brought in there? And whether you agree with their laws or not, when you're going to another country, you should really brush up on their laws. And I am not condoning drug use at all, but if you're involved in that, you really need to understand that in many countries, they don't do slaps on the wrist for this kind of stuff. Again, what the Russian courts are proposing for Brittney Griner's punishment, I think, are way too harsh. But when you're in their country, you are subjected to their laws, no matter how harsh or ridiculous you think they are. So, to me, you got two choices here. You could either just not go to any of these countries, or you can learn their laws and don't break them. Well, that's another edition of Rants in the Can. And folks, be sure to like, share, follow, and subscribe across all of KYCA's social media: Facebook, Rumble, YouTube, Instagram. Check us out on KYCA.info as we're revamping that site. It's going to look really good when all is said and done. Be sure to smash that like button and leave a comment for this video. We love to hear what you have to say about it. Till next time, I'm John Rust. I will see you soon.